Today we're going to be taking a look at the top 5 linebackers in this class. I do want to mention that this represents my personal opinion and not necessarily the actual top 5 linebackers in the class. With that said, let's go ahead and get right into this. So off rip, we have Ohio State's Jim Gallagher coming in at 6'3", 253 pounds, 21 years old, and projected to go 10th overall. Right off the bat, it's very easy to see why Jim Gallagher is number 1 on my board. He has the stats to back it up. 70 tackles, that is the most of anybody in the class. 22 tackle for losses, 6 forced fumbles. I mean, this guy is your prototype middle linebacker in any scheme. 4-3, 3-4, it does not matter. But the thing that sets apart Jim Gallagher from all other linebackers in this class are his physical attributes. He has the fastest 40 among all eligible linebackers. Now you do have to take that with a grain of salt because almost every scout has told us that this linebacking class is fairly weak with regards to speed. But regardless, you are looking at the winner of the Best Linebacker Award in college football, aka the Butkus Award. In my opinion, if you are a linebacker needy team in the top 15, specifically a team that needs a middle linebacker or a 4-3 outside linebacker, he is a great get and there's no reason you should not pick him up. Do note though that scouts have said Gallagher is very raw in coverage and will need a lot of work there. Next up we have Kyle Wilson of Miami. He is coming in at 6'2", 264 pounds and 23 years old. He's also projected to go 12th overall, and it's not hard to see why he's ranked number 2 on my board. He's had an almost Von Miller-like statistical year in college with 17 sacks, 14 tackle for losses. He also showed out at the combine, apparently putting up 35-ish bench reps as a linebacker, which is unheard of almost. I mean, that's like Vic Beasley level strength right there. Kyle Wilson is basically just your prototypical 3-4 power rusher or 4-3 power defensive end. He's going to be a great addition to any team that needs a pass rusher. Next up, we have Tyler Bynes from Utah coming in at 250 pounds, 6'2", 23 years old, and projected to go 19th overall. Bynes was a pick machine his senior year. He absolutely ate in head coach John Cena's 4-3 scheme, tallying 8 interceptions. While he was killing it in football, he was also doing the same in baseball as an outfielder. He was on Utah State's baseball team and got the nickname Mittens because he would catch literally everything. In my opinion, if you are looking for a solid coverage linebacker, either as a 4-3 linebacker or a 3-4 middle linebacker, this guy is gonna be the way to go. Next up, we have Southern Mississippi's Sean Claiborne coming in at 243 pounds, 6'4", 23 years old, and he's projected to go in the 2nd round, 13th pick. This Southern Mississippi product has got to be one of my favorite linebackers in the class. One of the reasons why is because the story that came out during the Rose Bowl. The team had lost all faith in the 4th quarter, but it wasn't until Claiborne rallied the troops on the sideline and got 3 sacks in a row, causing a clutch 3 and out that would lead Southern Mississippi to a 4th quarter comeback with 1 minute left because of his insane run in the playoffs, totaling almost 10 sacks. Claiborne was a Butkus Award nominee. Unfortunately, he was not able to win out, but this just shows you how good of a speed rushing linebacker this guy is. Coming in at number 5 on my board, we have Donnell Hull out of UCLA, 243 pounds, 6'2", 22 years old, and projected to go in the 3rd round, 22nd overall. UCLA's Hall was projected to go in the 1st round until his psychotic break. During his senior year, he proceeded to serve of an 8-game suspension for academic fraud, and then allegedly got into a fight and injured his starting quarterback before a bowl game. As you can see, there's a lot of baggage that comes with Hall, but if a team has the right surroundings around Hall, he could potentially wind up being the best coverage linebacker in this class. Although Hall was primarily used as a 4-3 outside linebacker, I could easily see him fitting in a 3-4 at middle linebacker as well. Alright, next up we have Dontrell Wheaton out of Nevada. He's 246 pounds, 6'3", 21 years old, and he's projected to go in the 4th round, 26th pick. Dontrell Wheaton is one of those weird cases where he didn't even start until midway through the season. That's one of the reasons why statistically he does not look that good. But if you extrapolate these stats for a whole season, he would look almost as good as the top guys in the class. Dontrell is one of those high risk, high reward players. There's a chance he ends up being extremely great. It really just depends on if you trust the tape and if you trust that he can continue what he started at the end of the season. Second sleeper is Amari Oakley from Texas Southern. He's coming in at 269 pounds, 6'4", and 23 years old, projected to go in the 5th round, 7th pick. Amari Oakley had a pretty good season. In fact, he was getting 2nd round grades at one point. But sources say Amari Oakley showed up at the combine high as a kite. The power rusher could barely utter a sentence during his interviews and claimed to have the munchies. As a result, very little is known about Oakley's testing numbers. On tape, he looked good, but coming to the combine high really puts into question not only his work ethic, but also his mental state. Last but not least, we have Brian Ryan from Washington, coming in at 6'2", 228 pounds. He's 22 years old and he's projected to go in the 7th round, 20th pick. Brian Ryan is a very interesting story in the fact that he was originally a UFC cage fighter. After quitting college and going all in on his dreams, he proceeded to go 0-6 before quitting. After realizing how terrible he was at fighting, he went back to school and joined the football team at Washington. There he went on to have a great season inside of a 3-4 scheme as a middle linebacker. Ryan seems to look the part on tape, but he's still unbelievably raw. Good coaching could make this big hitting linebacker into a solid addition to any team. And that is going to wrap it up for us. Just one final reminder, again, that these are my personal opinions and it does not necessarily represent the actual top 5 in this class. With that said, I'll see you guys next time.